Yay!
I start my day with love. Wanna start my day with love. That's what I get more of, is love. I start my day with love. Wanna start my day with love. That's what I get more of, is love. I start my day with love. Wanna start my day my day with peace. I feel that sweet release of peace. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. I choose peace, 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 peace. I feel it, peace, 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 peace. I choose peace, 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 peace. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I choose joy, joy, joy. I feel it, joy, joy, joy. Every day it's joy, joy, joy. I'm choosing joy, joy, joy. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love.
Good morning, Celebration Center for Spiritual Living, and welcome to yet another amazing, wonderful service. There we are. Good morning, Celebration Center for Spiritual Living. Welcome. We are so glad that you are here. My name is Reverend Chris Ashley. I'm the senior minister here at Celebration Center. And as y'all know, because I say it every week, I truly believe this, that we are physically located in Falls Church, Virginia, in the DC metro area. However, we are truly a global community with all of our offerings online. Right now, they're all online and only online. We are fully virtual, but even when we are meeting in person as well, we are committed to serving our global community, no matter where you're located, no matter what your backgrounds. We are so grateful and glad that you are here. So I invite you to say good morning in the chat. We love seeing everybody coming on and saying hello. So whether you are a regular or a newbie or somewhere in between, just say hi in the chat. Let us know you're here. And I'm so grateful that you're here. So we have an amazing service planned today. I am speaking on Forgive to Live, and we're going to see where we go with this topic, because forgiveness, I think, is one of those big topics. I think I probably could have spent a whole month just on this idea of forgiveness, but we'll see what happens. We also have Judy Blaze as our practitioner on platform. She's not really a guest any longer, y'all. She is coming to us from Iowa. I'm pretty sure it's one of those I states. And she has been our regular guest practitioner now on the third Sunday for quite some time, and we're so grateful to have her. We also have our music director, Lynn Hollyfield, giving us her beautiful, amazing music this morning. So overall, it's going to be an amazing service. I'm so happy and excited that you're here with us. I just have a couple of quick announcements today. So next Sunday is New Member Sunday. So if you are interested in becoming a member of Celebration Center, we would love to have you join us. The only requirement for becoming a member of this center is that you have a Science of Mind Foundations class under your belt. That can be any foundations class taken anywhere. It does not have to be a class taught here or given here at Celebration Center. So if you have that foundations class already and you would like to become a member, please let me know. You can email me at revchris@celebrationcenter.org. I'll drop that in the chat in just a moment. But also, if you don't have that class and you are interested in becoming a member, or even just want to learn more about Celebration Center and about Science of Mind and our philosophy, we are offering a Science of Mind 101 that will meet that requirement of a foundations class this coming Wednesday, the 23rd, from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to be on our Zoom. If you just go to celebrationcenter.org, click on Enter Zoom Events, you'll get into all of our events there besides this live stream. And join us this Wednesday and let us know, or not let us know, but join us this Wednesday and learn more about Science of Mind philosophy, and then come join us as a member on this following Sunday. And now we are going to recite our vision together. We say this every week to remind ourselves where we're headed, where we're going, and what the vision of this community is. We are celebrating spirit within and knowing the oneness of humanity. Yes, we are, and so it is. And now I invite Lynn to join us with an opening song.
Round the table we all sat, ideas passed around inside your hat. You said there's a way from here to there, but my uncertainty sat in the chair next to me. Last morning star has set, choices to be made but haven't yet. There's a shelf to rest your fear. You said close the door on doubt when it's near. With you here I am, with you here I stand. You made this real, and I'm here because of you. Because of you. Trust visits in my sleep. Like the wind, it lifts me into belief. The guides coax me round the bend, and then I see you standing there, my friend. And with you here I am, with you because of you. I'm here because of you. Unexpectedly, your gift unwrapped the waiting when you saw in me possibility. Gratitude does a crazy thing. It always makes me cry, so I think I'll sing to all of you who played a part. You brought me here, I hold you in my heart. And with you, here I am with a humble heart. Here I stand. You made this real, and I'm here because of you. I'm here because of you. I'm here with you. Thank you so much.
Yes, that was beautiful. Thank you. Well, hello, everybody. Good morning. If you're joining us for the first time, please let us know who you are by putting something in the chat. We're so grateful that you have come, and we'd love to get to know you. So let us know where you're from when you put yourself in the chat. And thank you for coming, and we look forward to having you join us. So the practitioners are people who have studied and trained for a number of years to see the truth of oneness in and through all situations and all people. So we dedicate ourselves to this practice so that we can exemplify the power and the love of the divine that permeates all of life. So we are here to recognize the truth of that wholeness. And we're available for prayer and one-to-one counseling sessions. So visit the website for more information on that. But if you would like prayer, there are a couple of ways that we can do that for you. One is to send us an email at prayer@celebrationcenter.org. The other is to visit the website and click on Request Affirmative Prayer. And these prayers go to our ministry prayer and the minister on Monday. And the practitioners and the minister pray on these prayer requests for the week. So do take advantage of that. It's very powerful. You know the power of prayer. So today, my reading is several quotes that I found that I just felt were exactly perfect for today. Forgiveness is a funny thing. It warms the heart and cools the sting. He that cannot forgive others breaks the bridge over which he himself must pass if he would ever reach heaven, for everyone has need to be forgiven. Forgiveness is the answer to the child's dream of a miracle, by which what is broken is made whole again, what is soiled is made clean again. Because forgiveness is like this. A room can be dank because you have closed the windows, you've closed the curtains. But the sun is shining outside and the air is fresh outside. In order to get that fresh air, you have to get up and open the window and draw the curtains apart. Confront the dark parts of yourself and work to banish them with illumination and forgiveness. Your willingness to wrestle with your demons will cause your angels to sing. The ineffable joy of forgiving and being forgiven forms an ecstasy that might well arouse the envy of the gods. Forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. Forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. So let's take that feeling and that sensation of the beautiful scent of the violet into our hearts. And just open to that idea that we are the beloved, that we are forgiven always. And when we open our hearts and turn into that forgiveness, we are made whole. We are cleansed. We are brought into the fullness of the truth of who we are. For the truth of who I am is that deep, deep essence self that can never, ever be wounded, can never do any harm, for it is the pure essence of the one power, the one life of God. So I know that that is all there is. As I step into this knowing, I feel that sense of incredible wholeness. I know that each of us here is already that wholeness, that perfection, that deep sense of love. I know that we are all held in the beloved arms of the One. And in this place, I also realize that no matter what our deep desires are, they are heard and acted upon by that one presence and power that moves in and through its creation, always ready to create and recreate. So I just step into that flow, and I allow that flow to move through my life as I know it moves through your life. So that whatever might possibly be in my consciousness that keeps me from feeling and experiencing that full goodness and the wholeness that I am is now completely dissolved. For there is nothing more powerful than that presence of divine, infinite love, wholeness, wisdom, peace. That simple one idea of life itself. So I claim and accept that each of us feels that sense of being in the flow of that divine power. And we open to this beautiful service this morning, ready to be inspired, to be uplifted, and to be supported on this path, to always know who we are. For we are perfect, whole, and complete right here in this moment. No matter what seems to come our way, we are in that presence and that power. So I'm so deeply grateful to know this for each of us, and grateful to simply feel the presence of each of us here in this time together as we celebrate our oneness. We celebrate the power of forgiveness. And so we just give thanks for this. We release and surrender into that deep sense of wholeness and perfection that is God. So in love and gratitude, I surrender, I let it go, I let it be. And so it is.
What if I told you that there was nothing you couldn't do, and every promise you may have broken is still waiting to come true? So don't be afraid of the messy bed you made. Don't be afraid, 'cause it just gets in the way. Though sometimes the world makes you wait, but the truth is, it's never too late. What if I told you no one can stop you? Walk past the doubters in your way. Follow your vision, your intuition, and no matter what they say. So don't be afraid of the messy bed you've made. No, don't be afraid, 'cause it just gets in the way. Though sometimes the world makes you wait, but the truth is, it's never too late. Years from now, when you found your tribe, and you'll look back on the days you've cried and smile. So don't be afraid of the messy bed you've made. No, don't be afraid. It just gets in the way. No, don't be afraid of your lonely serenade, though sometimes the world makes you wait. The truth is, it was never too late. It was never too late.
Thank you so much, Lynn. I love that. Don't be afraid of the messy bed that you've made. Perfect segue into this topic today of forgiveness. Like I said a minute ago, this is such a big topic. I'm pretty sure that I could easily spend a month of Sundays just talking about this idea of forgiveness. And yet we're just going to kind of pile it all in today. And I'm not even sure that I'm going to have any answers for you, but I'm just going to, have a conversation with myself. And and you're welcome to join into that conversation in the chat. And we'll probably continue this conversation in our community Zoom time after, because I think that forgiveness, both things that need to be forgiven and things that we should forgive, and forgiveness in general, and this idea of saying that we're sorry, and self-forgiveness and forgiveness of other people and other people forgiving, all of that, it's heavy. It comes with kind of a lot of baggage, and we have a lot of ideas, and we have a lot of shoulds and needs, and I wish, and that, should have been different, and somebody should have behaved differently or done differently, or I should have done differently. And it gets messy. It gets really messy. And so this week, and really my wrestling with this idea and this topic of forgiveness started a couple months ago. Who knew? It was all leading up to this morning. But this week, I've really been wrestling with forgiveness, and what my idea of forgiveness is, and what the world's idea of forgiveness is, and what Science of Mind's idea of forgiveness is. And so here we go. Here we go together on this journey. So the first thing that really comes up for me in this idea of forgiveness is that it's a paradox. And so the first thing that I want to talk about is this paradox of forgiveness that we have in our philosophy, in Science of Mind specifically. Because what our principles state is that it is all one, right? That everything is one, that there is no separation, that all is this thing that we call God or spirit or whatever name we give it, consciousness, the universe, the multiverse, whatever it is, that's it. There's only this one thing, and that each and every one of us is an individualized expression of the one. There is no separation, that there's truly this unity of humanity and all of life, this entire planet, the solar system, the galaxy, the universe, the multiverse, beyond even that at the heart of it, there's only this one, whatever that means, this infinite, eternal, absolute, right? This sort of grand thing that we can't even wrap our heads around. We know that that is true. And so, in that philosophy, in that understanding, what I've heard people say often is, well, there's nothing to forgive because it's all one. There's nothing to forgive. And if we were truly living from this place of knowing our oneness with all of life, then there would be no need to forgive, because we would just naturally, all negative anger or effects or anything like that would just fall away, and we would be living in the eternal bliss of enlightenment and awakening. Oh, that sounds real good, doesn't it? And yeah, that's all true. There's nothing to forgive in oneness, technically, in this sort of big picture perspective. But I don't know about you, but for myself, most of the time I'm living in my life, in my body, having my experience of what it means to be an individualized expression of this oneness. And in this individualized expression, the primary thing to remember is that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And I think often we take that phrase, we're spiritual beings having a human experience, we take that to sort of bypass or negate any of the human experience that is anything that we consider to be less than spiritual. But if it's all oneness, then there is nothing that is less than spiritual. And so when we look at this idea of forgiveness from a human perspective, from our perspective as individualized expressions of the one, there are things to forgive. There are instances and regrets and hurts and traumas and all kinds of things that come up when we relate to one another as spiritual to spiritual, but having this human experience. And so there really is a paradox. Yeah, it is all one. And yet, I am currently living as a human being. And as a human being, there are things that are happening that are not acceptable or don't work for me in my life, whether that's something that I'm doing or somebody else is doing or the world is doing or whatever it may be. There are things that need to look at this idea of forgiveness, this lens of forgiveness. So that is the paradox of forgiveness. From the big picture perspective, there is nothing to forgive. And yet from our perspective, there are so many things that we can look at through this lens. So that's the framework from where we're going. And I think that in our teaching, and I know that this was true for me when I first got into the teaching, that we've done a lot of damage by telling people that there should be nothing to forgive, that if they were truly just being spiritual enough, there would be nothing to forgive. Because the reality is that there are horrific things that have happened in people's experiences that can be devastating to life. And it's okay to acknowledge that. It's okay to admit that life isn't what we think of as perfect, and that when we look at our lives, not every single thing is easily seen as, oh, God is all there is. It's okay to just admit and acknowledge that. And so I first want to go into the myths of forgiveness, because I think that the baggage of this word forgiveness comes with a lot of things that we've been taught about what forgiveness is and isn't, and what it should mean and shouldn't mean, and all of these things. So the first thing we're going to do is unpack some of these myths of forgiveness. And the first myth is that forgiveness is forgetting. We even have a phrase in our teaching, or not in our teaching, in our society, forgive and forget, right? Forgive and forget, and just move on. Forgive and forget, just move on. And yet, forgiveness, this idea of forgiveness, does not mean forgetting. Well, we'll go into what it is in a minute, but it doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean that you have to erase your past or erase what happened to you or erase what somebody has done. But instead, it's this moving forward, this stepping forward. So forgiveness does not equal forgetting. The next myth is that forgiveness, if we forgive someone, it means that we condone or accept their behavior. And I think that this one can be really dangerous. And I think that this is the reason that a lot of people hold on and don't forgive, is because we think that if we forgive someone, that we're letting it go to the point that we say, oh, it's okay. It's okay that you did that. It's okay that that happens. Oh, I accept that's, fine. It's fine. It's fine. And yet that's not what forgiveness is. Forgiveness does not say your behavior was okay or acceptable, or that I condone it, or that I would be okay with it happening again. It's simply a releasing, a letting go. And so we don't have to accept a behavior to move on from it. The next myth of forgiveness is, thanks, Ivor. We have been doing that to each other all morning. The next myth of forgiveness is, if I forgive, then I have to let the person back into my life. Now, I have to admit that this is one that caught me up for a very long time. This idea that if I truly forgive someone, that means that they have to be a part of my life, that part of forgiveness is letting somebody be in my life, regardless of whether or not they have changed their behavior, or regardless of whether or not they are healthy or toxic for me. But that if I truly forgive, if I truly let go of all that has happened and accept the past, then I have to allow that person to continue to be in my life. And that is 100% incorrect. That forgiveness is really all about us. It's all an inward journey, an inward job, and it really has nothing to do with that other person or that other experience or situation or challenge or obstacle or whatever we want to call it. It's fully an inside job, and we can forgive and still allow other people to be over there. I can love you from over there. Which leads me to my next one. Forgiveness means that I can't set boundaries. So part of this idea of somebody has to be in my life is that I can't have boundaries with that person. I can't set my own understanding of what I deserve and then expect other people to live from that or not be a part of my life. This idea that forgiving or turning the other cheek requires us to be a doormat. And that is not accurate either. I love boundaries. I could give a whole message just on boundaries. But what I want to say about boundaries in this framework of forgiveness is that sometimes we think of boundaries as being these hard walls, these rigid things that we set and that's it. There's no crossing this wall. I have built it out of rebar and concrete. It is reinforced. There is barbed wire across the top. You are not getting across this boundary. And yet the way that I love to look at boundaries is this fluid sort of experience. And we can set our boundaries in such a way, we can even set our boundaries a little further out maybe than we need to, so that we can see and navigate this fluidity with another individual. And it requires the other individual for whom we are setting boundaries with to be open and willing to move in your fluidity, to communicate, to be open to those boundaries and to having these conversations that talk about and allow that fluidity. And so if we have somebody in our life who is unwilling to do that, then maybe we do firm up those boundaries, or maybe we do say, you know what, I'm going to love you from over here because this is not healthy for me. This is toxic. And so I'm going to love you from a distance. This is my boundary. And we had that fluid boundary, but now I have set up the rebar and I have reinforced it with concrete, and you are over there. And that's not even to say that that wall can't come down at some point, but we get to set our own boundaries and we get to allow ourselves the freedom to move and flow with those boundaries as we deem necessary. The next myth of forgiveness is that we should always forgive, that everything is forgivable, and that if we're truly a good person, we'll forgive it. We'll forgive whatever it was, whatever the experience, whatever the damage was done. We'll just let it go. We'll forgive it. I think it's dangerous anytime this word should comes into anything. I should. If you find yourself saying I should, or you should, or we should, you want to look at what comes after that phrase. Because is there anything that we should do? Is there truly an always or a never? Do we really want to set ourselves up for these ultimatums in our lives where we're a good person if we do something and a bad person if we don't do something? Do we even, these black and whites, these shoulds and should nots, these I have to and I don't have to and I never and I always, all of these black and white areas don't allow us the room for our own personal growth and fluidity. And so I know that I probably disagree with other ministers in our movement, but I don't believe that everyone should always forgive. And I don't agree that everything is forgivable. And I think that that's okay. And so, hold that thought. I know that some people are clutching their pearls right now, but just take a deep breath. We're going to get into what is the alternative of forgiveness in just a minute, okay? We have one more myth. The final myth of forgiveness is that if we are spiritual, then we have to forgive everything, or even that being spiritual makes forgiveness easy. That, if I'm doing my work and I'm praying every day and I'm meditating and I'm doing yoga and I'm, doing my practitioner sessions and I chant and I do drumming and I'm talking to people and I'm living the good life and I'm forgiving the person that cut me off in traffic and all of that all of those things, that if I'm truly a spiritual being, then I have to forgive. I should forgive. It's easy to forgive, that I can just let it all go and just live in this blissful state of oneness forever and ever and evermore, and nothing bad will ever happen to me. And we know that that's not true. I know that that's not true. I tried really hard, y'all. I tried really hard to live from that space. It doesn't work. Just take it from me. It doesn't work. So, I know a moment ago I said not everything is forgivable, and that there are some things that it's okay to not forgive. And I know that is a hard thing to hear for a lot of people, because we're also taught that we live in this world of oneness. And if you look up what Ernest Holmes says on forgiveness, if you look up what the majority of ministers say about forgiveness, then what you're going to hear over and over and over again is that forgiveness is the answer, right? We have all kinds of phrases and quotes that not forgiving is like holding a coal in your hands and the only person that it burns is you, but you're trying to burn the other person, right? All of these things are drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. And once again, back to this paradox. Is there a way, I'm posing this question, is there a way to not forgive and to not allow what has happened in the past to harm us in the future? Now, I think there is. And I think that the word for it, the alternative, if you will, to forgiveness is integration. Ooh. Integration. Just breathe that in for just a moment. Integration. This idea of spiritual forgiveness or radical forgiveness is really somebody else telling us what we have to do with our pain. And integration is this idea that we can integrate all of life, the good, the bad, the ugly, the painful, the unforgivable, the unacceptable, that we can integrate the beautiful, the blissful, the peak experiences and the valley experience is when we choose integration. What it really means is that we are allowing ourselves to live in the totality of having a human experience as a spiritual being. And that is where it's at. That is where it's at to me, and that is what is important to me. Because the thing about integration is that it allows us to have the full range of emotion. I think that something that we don't talk about enough when we talk about this idea of forgiveness is the idea of grieving. That often integrating or letting go or allowing something to be fully in us and as us includes a period of grief. Grief for the loss of what was or what could be, or grief for the harm that has occurred to us or the harm that we did. And allowing ourselves the space to grieve and feel the emotions that come with that can be so healing, profoundly healing. And it doesn't require us to set something down or to walk away or to forget that part of our lives, whether it was something that we were doing or something that was being done to us. But instead, it allows us to release the corrosiveness of the harm without letting go of the experiences that brought us to this moment. I think another part of forgiveness that we don't talk about enough is anger. Often, when we are harmed, or when we don't know better, or when we realize the impact of our harm, or whatever it may be, that there is a lot of anger there. And yes, all of these feelings, if we stuff them down and we allow them to fester, they can manifest as physical dis-ease and discomfort and illness in all of these different ways. And so is there a way that we can integrate the totality of these feelings without allowing them to be pressed down and damped into us so much that they overtake us? And I think that this idea of integration and fully experiencing and expressing these emotions is the answer. It's not being angry, but instead choosing to have that sort of righteous anger and looking at, is this serving me? How is this affecting me? Am I allowing this to come out in a healthy way? Am I getting the support that I need? Am I going to see a practitioner? Am I talking to my minister? Am I going to a therapist? Am I reading the books? Am I doing the work? And am I feeling all of the feelings? Integration to me also means letting go of wishing that the past had been different than what it was. Letting go of this idea that if only If only I had done this or they had done that, or I had never met them, or this had never happened, or that one instance, or this experience, or that situation. Setting all of that down and instead saying, you know what? It happened. It's part of me. It's part of my experience. I'm going to integrate it. I'm going to love it. I'm going to love me through it. I'm going to love what happened, not in a bypassy, I forgive it, but in a, it's part of me. I'm going to love the me. I'm not going to love what happened. I take that back. I'm going to love the me that went through that experience. I'm going to love all of the parts of me, including that me, that version of me. So we let go of wishing that the past had been different than what it was. This idea of integration also lets you acknowledge the pain that you've suffered or the pain that you've inflicted without allowing that pain to define you. It can mean that instead of stuffing down and just forgiving or setting down or trying to let it go, that instead we acknowledge, yeah, you know what? That really sucked. That experience sucked, and I really don't want to do it again. And not allowing that pain to define us. It's the difference, once again, between turning away from the pain and the suffering in such a way that it's still festering in the shadow versus looking directly at it and removing its power, taking our power back and saying, yes, this was painful, this happened, and it does not define who I am. Integration allows us to find meaning and purpose in our life now. Instead of allowing those past experiences to continue to define us, instead we get to find meaning. We get to move forward. We get to say, you know what? That experience means that my life will never be the same again, and that is okay. And I'm going to find meaning, and I'm going to move forward and integrate. And finally, integration allows us to be on a constant journey. I think so often we think of forgiveness as this one and done. I forgive you, and then we just move on. But instead, it is a journey. It is a process. And that is what integration allows for. It allows for this sort of evolution of ourselves, understanding that the emotions and the pain and the challenges and the obstacles that come from a situation or a person or a challenge or whatever it may be are going to shift over time. And integration allows us to move and flow and go with the ebb and tide of that shift. It allows us to evaluate where we're at, where our emotions are, where our feelings are, where our thoughts are, and to hold on to that which serve us and set down what no longer serves us. Maybe it did for a long time and now it doesn't. Integration makes it so that it's not a one and done, but instead this ever ongoing, expansive journey of evolution and growth and spirituality. So take a deep breath, and I invite you to think about those things that you have tried to force yourself to forgive, and maybe it didn't work, or those things that feel unforgivable, whether it's something that happened to you or something that you're witnessing out in the world. And instead, look at it as an opportunity to fully integrate our humanity with our divinity, to fully step into the totality of what oneness can mean, and to allow ourselves the wholeness and the fullness of our thoughts, of our feelings, of our emotions, of our beliefs, and to step forward and to move into this journey with consciousness and intentionality. And so now I just invite you into prayer. If you'll close your eyes, if you can, or soften your gaze, take another deep breath. And what I know is that there is only the one. This one thing, this one presence that is infinite. It is absolute. It is eternal. It is all of life. It is this entire planet, all of the life on it, this solar system, this galaxy, this universe, the multiverse, and beyond. It is all of those things. And when we look at ourselves through microscopes, what we find are the building blocks of the divine, because that is truly all that there is. And because I know this to be true, I know that each and every one of us is divine, that we are the individualized expressions of that one thing. And because of that, our entire lives, the totality and expansiveness of our experiences is all spirit. It is all sacred. It is all holy. Every thought, every word, every action, all of it, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. The highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows is all spirit expressing itself as its highest idea of humanity on this planet right here and right now. And so we just breathe that in. We allow the wholeness of life to fully be present in and as and through each and every one of us. We breathe in this integration of all of our experiences, all of our emotions, all of our thoughts, and we allow ourselves to be whatever is calling us, whatever we are called to be in this moment. Fully loving ourselves in every moment of our journey, past, present, and future. And I am so grateful. I am so grateful for this community where we continue to have this journey together. We continue to have the opportunity to integrate the totality of our life experiences and to learn about one another's life experiences, to grow together, to journey together, to blossom together, to evolve together. I am so grateful for the integration and the wholeness of every being that is a part of Celebration Center, every being on this planet. And so I simply release my word. I let it go. I know it is done as I have spoken. And so it is. And now we are going to hear another song from Lynn.
Sometimes when you push too much, you're not sure which way to fall. Sometimes when you hurt too much, you're not sure who to call. Sometimes you wanna yell or cry or just get back, but you stop yourself and you take a deep breath and a different road to forgiveness, to forgiveness. Sometimes it takes a while to come back to that place. Sometimes it takes a burning bush to put you in their space. And when you're walking in their shoes, you may start to understand. And you take a deep breath and a different road to forgiveness, to forgiveness. quiet your mind. You see your own words and actions came from a place that wasn't kind. A wave of compassion flows in a holy way, and you take a deep breath, walk a different road to forgiveness, to forgiveness. We can never know why a person acts the way they do. We can't ever know everything a person has been through. That helps me forgive myself as I see myself in you. So I make a choice to walk a different road to forgiveness, to forgiveness. In time we start to understand it's okay to rest in how you feel. There's also a time to mend. We know our past is real. Sometimes you wish it wasn't so, but then you learn to take the wheel, and you take a deep breath on a different road. Yeah, you take a deep breath on a different road. You take a deep breath on a different road to forgiveness, to forgiveness, to forgiveness, to forgiveness. On a different road to forgiveness, to forgiveness, to forgiveness, to forgiveness.
So this is the time in our service for our gifts and our offerings, knowing that your presence in our community is a blessing and an offering and a gift. And so I just invite you, whatever you are giving today, if it is your time, your love, your presence, your talents, or your treasures, a gift or an offering, I just invite you to bring that in to your heart as we say our offertory affirmation together aloud. I open my heart to give and receive the blessings that our spirits promise to me. As I do, the entire universe conspires to give me an abundant life, and I open to accept it. And so it is. And so if you have a donation that you would like to give today, that you can go to celebrationcenter.org and click on the give button, or go to celebrationcenter.org/donate. Both of those will take you to our secure Breeze platform where you can give. Thank you so much. And now we have a blessing from Judy.
We bless these gifts with our energy of pure, expansive generosity and love. We know that these gifts carry that energy of infinite abundance. And as it moves through this center, blessing every aspect of the work that is done here. And then it moves out into the world, blessing the world. So we are grateful to know this. And then the blessings come back to each of us. We are grateful. We give thanks. We proclaim our prosperity. And so it is.
There is always a light. There is always light. When we are ready to see it. There is always a light. There is always light. When we are ready to be it. To see the light, to be the light, to raise your eyes in the darker night, to climb this hill. Together we will. There is always your light in the dark. When we are ready to see it. There is always your light in the dark. When we are ready to be it. To see the light, to be the light, to raise your eyes in the darker night, to climb this gift. Together we will. Shine your light in the dark. We are ready to see it. There's always your light in the dark. We are ready to be it. To see the light, let your beaming heart raise your eyes in the darker night to climb this hill. Together we will be light. Together we will. There is always your light in the dark. When we are ready to see it. There is always your light in the dark. When we are ready to be it. To see the light, let your beaming heart to raise your eyes in the darker night to climb this hill.
Thank you so much, Lynn. And so now I invite you to our community Zoom time that we'll be having as soon as this live stream ends. And so you can find the information in the chat. You can also go to celebrationcenter.org and click on the button that says Enter Zoom Events. I look forward to seeing everyone there. And whether you are joining us there or not, what I know is that each and every one of us is whole in every way, and that we fully integrate every aspect of our lives, past, present, and future, so that we shine our lights fully, not afraid of our messy beds, but instead allowing ourselves to fully be present to all of life. And so it is.